Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that we're going to talk about today is a new video, announcement, a vision goal-setting extravaganza from the Gun Violence Office at the White House. Yeah. This is going to be one of those things that you're probably not going to like because we got a lot of stuff, and they laid out all of these amazing rainbow pie-in-the-sky things that are pretty concerning. Everything will be linked in the description box below, and I can't wait to hear from you guys on this one. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And this content and analysis is brought to you by SDI. Now, I know a lot of you out there like to upgrade and modify your own guns. And if you're looking to turn a hobby that you love into a career, what are you waiting for? Sonoran Desert Institute can help with their online programs such as gunsmithing, woodworking, shooting sports management, and ballistics, plus so much more, and all the tools and materials are shipped directly to your door and will be done at your house. There's never been a better time to turn a hobby that you love into a career that you could also make money at. So what are you waiting for? There's a link in the description box below, and thank you so much to SDI for making this content possible. All right, my brothers and sisters, we've got to dive into Everytown for Gun Safety, the tie-in to the Office of Gun Violence Prevention at the White House, add Kamala Harris, and it's so incestuous and gross. But let's just start this off the right way with the president of Everytown for Gun Safety. This is the main gun control group in the United States, the guy who runs it, John Feinblatt. This is his Twitter account. Rob led Everytown's federal work and played a key role in passing the first major federal gun safety bill in a generation. He's the perfect person to help lead this fight in the White House. Now, he's talking about the Safer Communities Act, or the Senate Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, that they passed at the behest of John Cornyn and 15 other Republicans in the Senate. Great job, guys. Well, now they've got a video out, and it's going to highlight their goals, lay them out in an easy-to-consume and digest format, because after all, this is about the children. And there's rainbows, and there's puppy dogs, and there's butterflies everywhere. Nothing concerning about what he's talking about in a veiled way at all. Check this out. I'm gonna play this, and then we're gonna break this down because there's a lot of things to break down here.
Yeah, my name is Rob Wilcox, and I'm the Deputy Director of the White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention. The White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention is a nerve center. It's the way for us to make sure that we come to work every single day as an administration thinking about saving lives, thinking about investing in communities, thinking about making sure that people in crisis who are a risk to themselves or others don't have access to firearms. And our charge is simple. We're here to implement the historic executive actions that have come to date and the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. Our second mission is to look for new executive actions that will be within the law and life-saving. The third action is to work with our partners at the state and local level and within the community to keep taking life-saving action in every corner of this country. And lastly, it's to make sure that survivors have access to the mental health and support resources they need.
Wow, that was a lot. So let's just start very high level. So first off, you've got this dynamic, you've got this upbeat music, this hopeful music, you've got amazing lighting, you've got a black environment, it's all about the message. You have camera angles, multiple different angles, so that it keeps you engaged as we deliver our points. That's the first part. Again, this is under the White House. This is the Office of Gun Violence Prevention, led by the Vice President, Kamala Harris, and infiltrated with Everytown for Gun Safety, Deputy Director. Yeah. Anyone else really concerned? Now, some of the things that he hit on that I really don't like. Obviously, I don't like the Senate Safer Communities Act, or the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. That was John Cornyn and the Republicans. Because it's been abused. It's been abused like they abused everything else, because they utilize the language and they use the executive branch to interpret that language in a different way than it was passed, and therefore they get their outcomes while manipulating existing law. That's what they've been doing for 3 years. Now, the things that he said, people in crisis don't have access to guns. Well, what that means is red flag laws. So he's talking about at a very high level and something that everyone can get behind and so vague, expounding upon red flag laws which are unconstitutional, flat out. They're going to take something from you that is your right without a hearing, without a jury, without a trial, and you don't get to know about it. Police just show up and they take your rights, and then you get to prove yourself as innocent after you've been assumed guilty. That's what red flag laws are. Now they're putting it in very flowery, amazing language. After all, this is a nerve center to tie all these things together and really push things even further as far as possible around what the executive actions can be taken. Now, that's the second point I want to hit on. What executive actions can be taken? Because, again, They don't have legislative support in Congress to do the wet dream gun control that they want. So what have they done? They've made brand new offices. They've put Everytown for Gun Safety, a main gun control group, in charge of that office, and it's going to have direct tendrils and tentacles into the government apparatus and the White House itself. Always looking to expound upon executive actions which are unconstitutional. They don't care. But we're going to keep it legal. Oh, really? Because we've got pending court cases across the board, all the way from pistol braces to redefining frames and receivers to redefinition of 18, 19, and 20-year-olds not getting their gun rights through the ATF. Like, there's lots of things that they're questionable, but they call legal. That's the entire point here. They're going to dole out money and funding and make sure that even the victims have access to health care and really that mental support after the victims of or survivors of gun violence. Now, they're not going to mention a single thing about crime or the perpetrators of that violence. It's not gun violence. It's stupid. It's violence. They're not going to talk about the people doing it, as we've seen multiple sheriffs talk about. We're not going to do any of the concerns about recidivism from felons to go back into prison. We're not going to talk about any of the access that they have to illicit materials. None of that. No. It's all about guns and finding out what we can do executively, directly tied into the vice president and the president in the White House outside of the confines of Congress. Red flag laws, executive ATF actions, other areas where they are just going to tweak and everything, get states up on board with federal red flag laws. This is a problem. And if you guys don't see it as a problem, I don't know how else to do it. But this is a marrying of a gun control organization directly into the federal government and the executive branch in the actual White House under a new office tied directly to the highest seats of our executive levels. Yeah. Be as vague and as upbeat as you want. I'm not digging that. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.